Welcome back. Now, the story of the tortoise and the hare teaches us that slow and steady can win the race. President Cyril Ramaphosa has often been criticized for being slow in getting those accused of corruption prosecuted. But international relations expert Oscar van Heerden says Ramaphosa's tortoise pace shouldn't be underestimated. Van Heerden says without him, there's since been progress since he was elected as president. But let's go to Mr. Van Heerden himself to tell us more about his article. Thank you very much for joining us here on Newslink. Now, you describe him as a tortoise in your article, and I just want you to bring in the viewers on why you said he's a tortoise. Is it because South Africans say that he's moving too slowly in dealing with corruption since he took office?
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm saying. I basically penned the article because there were so many people that were giving the impression that the president is moving very slowly, that he's indecisive, and that there's nothing really happening since he took office. And I thought it's important. I make the famous story, the hare and the tortoise, to demonstrate that even though the tortoise is slow, it's consistent, it's steady, and eventually the tortoise wins the race. And as I say in the article, Ramaphosa has really made some significant progress since taking office.
And I mean, a lot of people would say that if you look at the states to which the country was in terms of state capture, etc., by the time he took office, you need to understand, as the ANC always says, democracy or a democratically elected president only happened in 1994, and it doesn't take just 1 year or 2 years to fix all the social ills that happened during apartheid. So I'm just likening that to that statement by them that he couldn't fix it overnight.
Exactly. It takes time. As we know, 9 wasted years, it's not a simple thing to reverse. And I think it is going to take time to actually get to the point where we see we're turning the corner. And I think that the president is making steady progress on that front.
So what do you say to people who say that, but he was deputy president during the tenure of the former president, and therefore he was part of the executive, and he could have also omitted on some of the things that happened during those 9 years, those 9 wasted years?
Well, I mean, I think that, for those who understand the role of the deputy president, the president has enormous powers in the Republic of South Africa. The deputy president has very little. He serves at the behest of the president. And so I think that it's a little bit overrated to think that Ramaphosa could have done something with regards to responding. And I think we need to look at the bigger picture. Perhaps the deputy president at the time saw the bigger picture, which is that indeed to try and undo some of these things, to try and put the country back on track, I need to bide my time and make sure that I take off the high office in order to effect the necessary changes. And I think there was a strategy there.
So I got a sense from reading your article that you're saying as the party moves to an elective conference at the end of this year, that it would probably be best for them to allow him a second term and possibly let him work until 2024 so that the electorate can see what more the tortoise can do.
Absolutely. I think I am making that argument. I'm saying that in terms of stability, consistency, we need to perhaps look at retaining the president in his position in order to see the plans through. Of course, Ramaphosa didn't count on the COVID-19 pandemic, and this is a big factor. Could have done much more if it hadn't been for the pandemic, and I'm sure he would want to see his program executed in another 5-year term. And I think the ANC will do well to re-elect him.
Do you see nobody else doing a better job at all? Is he their only answer at the moment and their only hope?
Well, given the popularity of President Ramaphosa, I think it would be silly to try and change. There is, of course, a number of alternatives in the ANC. There's young blood that is coming through in the form of Ronald Lamola. There's many youngsters that are showing very good promise. I think that the older generation, I think they realize their time is up. We've seen a 36-year-old now being elected the president of Chile. The world is moving towards younger and younger leaders in New Zealand and elsewhere. And I think this is very important that we also here in South Africa take stock of our younger leaders.
All right. Thank you very much for your time here on Newslink and on ENCA, of course. Mr. Oscar van Heerden speaking to us there about the article he wrote that is titled "The Corruption-Busting Race is Not to the Swift. Don't Write Off the Slow Power of Tortoise Ramaphosa."